Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
And welcome to what is our final episode of SocialLIVE. I can't believe it. 2.5 years.
2.5 years. It's just flown right by. It's really the end of an era.
It really is.
I feel like I can say that word incorrectly.
I think it's your New York accent.
Era.
It's
the end of an era.
It's the end of an era. Thank you guys so much for being along the ride with us for the past 2.5 years. We have all learned so much about social media together and have had some incredible guests along the way. I was thinking last night about what were some of our most memorable and favorite moments on SocialLIVE. And actually one of my favorite moments was an episode that I wasn't even part of. Can you guess which one?
Caitlin's birthday
Yes.
episode. Yes, that was definitely a memory I'll never forget. It was Caitlin Gallagher, who is our Associate Director of Business Development. It was her birthday, and she was on SocialLIVE that day, and her friends surprised her and invited, his name was, I forgot his name. Without some sound issues.
Gotta have some sound issues on the last show. Let's see. I'm messaging Scott to see if he can hear us.
Yeah, Norris. Can you hear Norris? Because she is crying right now, and she is my favorite memory of the past month, having her on SocialLIVE. Got her 2 weeks ago, and she's just been such a joy, such a joy. Is the sound fixed?
Scott can hear us. I think we're not having sound issues. We're here. We're good. We're going to keep rolling. But it is very reminiscent.
Which guest surprised you the most?
Which guest surprised me the most? I would say, so this is an episode you weren't on.
Okay.
So it was the episode we did with Scott Rogowski.
Okay.
So Scott was one of my favorite all-time guests on SocialLIVE.
Keep talking.
So Scott came on the show because he so graciously was hosting our charity event, M Squared, that we do almost every year with Marnie to raise money for the TSMS Research Center. And he came on to help promote the charity event, and we did a bunch of quiz questions with him. And you know, he's super famous now. Everyone wants to talk to him, and he was just so down to earth, gracious, incredible, and that was definitely one of my favorite episodes. We got to get to an episode that we did together.
I know. One of my favorite episodes was actually with Adam, the creator. He came on twice, one in the very, very early days.
He was our very first episode.
No, he wasn't our very first episode, but he was in, top 5, the first 5. And then he came back on and we talked about his meme life, and we played a little fun meme game with him, and that was really fun. So I'll always remember that one. He's always fun to be around too. So.
And I loved when we used to do our Get It While It's Hot segments and tried some of the best trending foods in New York City. And I was supposed to bring food today, but I forgot.
Well, I'm sure in true Socialfly fashion, we'll be eating sweets all day. Saw some donuts in there, so you'll definitely be seeing a lot of sweet treats on our Instagram feed as the day goes on.
And definitely start sharing this episode because we are giving away a Socialfly prize pack, I will call it, and lots of new swag from our upcoming big announcement that we're going to share at the end of the show. So just because we're leaving you on SocialLIVE, it doesn't mean we're leaving you for good. We have something really big that will be premiering on November 13th, and we'll tell you after we chat with Lucy at the end of the show.
Perfect. So let's just get to it in true Socialfly news fashion.
All right. So this was trending all over social media and specifically on Twitter over the past few days. People started talking about whether Twitter is going to remove the like button on Twitter. So people are saying they're definitely going to remove it because Jack made a comment, and at Twitter Communications account was saying how they're always trying to update things and make them better. But I don't actually think they're going to remove this button.
I agree with you. They're probably not going to remove it, but we were talking about it yesterday, and I think actually it could be a good idea. A lot of times people will just like something when they haven't even read what it is. It's just like an instinctual thing. You just see something from a friend of yours, and you just like it without even reading it. So I think that might make people actually look at the content maybe a little bit more.
And post a comment.
Post a comment, engage with it, share it, let people know in more engaging ways that you actually read the content.
Yeah. What do you
So,
guys think?
I think they should at least try it out. Take it away for a few weeks, see what happens, and if it's terrible, bring it back.
Yeah, I think you can definitely give it a try. But let us know what you guys think. Comment below. Do you want to get rid of the like button, the heart button on Twitter? Do you think it will spark new, insightful conversations, or should we keep it there?
You know what my vote is. And then in Facebook news, Facebook is going to actually let you pin songs, clips to your profile. So you're not going to be able to pin the entire song, but people will be able to go to your profile and see snippets of songs that you like, which I think is interesting. You know, it's very similar to MySpace.
Bringing back MySpace.
And what would your song be? I know what my song would be.
Your song would be Despacito.
Of course it would be Despacito.
Or Oops, I Did It Again.
One of those two. I'll probably pick them both.
Oh, I don't know. I do love the song More Than Words by Extreme. That is one of my
That's a
go-to
good
karaoke
one.
songs.
So we'll have to try this out, but the feature is only available in select countries later this year.
And breaking news, the Lip Sync Live feature is now available in stories and on your feed. And we haven't actually tried this yet.
I want to try it later today because I remember a few years ago, actually it was probably the last time I tried Musical.ly, and it was so much fun. So got to try this out. We'll make our
definitely try
own.
it.
You know how much we love to make music videos here at
Why don't we
Socialfly.
sing Spread Your Wings and Prepare to Fly?
Maybe we will.
For
Maybe
butterflies?
we will.
But you guys haven't noticed we're social butterflies for Halloween. We forgot to make that announcement.
And then some Snapchat news is that Snapchat has a new desktop camera. So now you can download Snapchat on your Mac or Windows application, and you can it'll take over your webcam and bring the augmented reality effects to other streaming and calling devices, which I actually think is a really great update. So as everyone has heard, you know, Snapchat is not doing so well financially, having lost a lot of users, but what is great about Snapchat, and I've always said this is what is great about Snapchat, is their creative capabilities. I still know a lot of people who will go to Snapchat, record their content, and then bring it over to Instagram because their filters, top notch.
You do have the best filters.
And I've always wanted, you know, in my FaceTiming or video chatting to bring those filters over. And now it appears that we might be able to. And then the other great thing that Snapchat is announcing is it's going to allow more developers and creators to make their own effects. So we'll see more filters to come. But I think this is really cool. I'm going to download it, try it out, and use some good filters in my Skyping. I think it might be compatible with Skype. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I like it.
And because we didn't have a big Instagram update today, and it is our favorite social media platform, we have to give Instagram a plug. So the Socialfly team worked so hard on our Girl Scouts PSA, which launched yesterday. So you can head on over to my Instagram feed or Courtney's Instagram feed to swipe up to watch the PSA. So shout out to Instagram, the Girl Scouts, and the Socialfly team.
And I will say over the last 2.5 years, I would say my favorite updates have been about Instagram. My favorite update probably was when Instagram launched Instagram Stories in the last 2.5 years. It was a really fun update to talk about, and it's been amazing to watch this capability just transform and take off over the last 1.5 years.
Yeah. Well, those are our final social media updates on SocialLIVE.
So
That's it.
That's it. But we have something brand new we will share with you in a bit, so stay tuned.
And before we do, we're so excited to welcome our final guest to SocialLIVE, Lucy Norris. Lucy is a consumer trends and lifestyle expert. Welcome to SocialLIVE.
Hi, how are you all?
We're so
Thank
happy
you
to
for
have you
coming.
here.
I'm so excited to be here, and I'm sad that it is your last episode.
Well,
so
we
thank
got to
you
go out
for
with a bang
joining
with you.
us.
Yeah. So we met. Was that about a year ago? We met.
Yep, I think just over
A
a
year
now.
ago we met,
Yes.
and I filmed one of your amazing consumer trends segments, and we've stayed in touch over the year.
And you've been fantastic, and I think not only were you a great guest, but I love watching your stuff. I love everything that you girls do. And you've just been a real connector for me as well. And just I think that that's the beauty of what it is that we do in the industry.
Yes,
So.
and women empowering women and
Yes.
helping each other spread your wings and meet more people. We'll keep tying it back to that. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got started in your career and a little bit about what you do?
Yes, so I think I started my career generally out of pure frustration. I mean, I came to New York to study acting. I graduated. I thought, this is it. I'm going to be an actress. I started going to all these auditions and I couldn't master the American accent. And then I was like, you know what, maybe I don't need to pretend to be another character. Maybe I can just be myself in front of the cameras. So I started doing a lot more hosting, and then from there I developed a show called On Deck with Lucy, which was basically the beginning of what it is that I do. And that was because I couldn't get a manager, I couldn't get an agent, and I thought, well, I need to create something to show them. So I created this show, and then from then I worked on QVC, HSN, FNL, and then that's kind of the beginning.
That's amazing. And how has social media really played a part in launching your career?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I always think I got really lucky to kind of develop my brand at the time that I did, because without social media and without these platforms, you can't necessarily create your own brand and have direct access to this audience that you can do on social media. So it's definitely impacted what it is that I've been able to do.
So I know you don't have a manager, so how have you been able to build your career and personal brand without representation? I'm sure a lot of people want to know.
So I think what I've been able to do is doing a lot of on-camera work. I also like coaching and training people as well. So I launched a company called OCP Media about 4 years ago, and that was just because I noticed that more and more brands needed videos and they had to get someone in front of the camera, and not everyone is natural or themselves in front of the camera. So I started coaching, and when I started coaching, I thought to myself, okay, these are the things that I need to look out for. These are my strengths. These are my weaknesses. So I was able to kind of critique my own profession as I was coaching. And I think one of the main skills that I have in order to be able to do this without a manager is I can look at myself objectively and think, okay, that's a brand, I'm a product, and what is right for me right now. And I think if you're able to step back and look at yourself like that and not be so attached to ideas or things that you want, then you're able to navigate your journey a lot more easier.
And how have you been able to really differentiate yourself in the marketplace? There's so many hosts and influencers. What sets you apart?
I think it's just time, and I think as I've got older, I've started to ask more questions. I started to embrace interests that I had. So at the beginning, I started off, and I'll say it, very surface. I was all about just fashion, and I was covering things that I thought people wanted to see and what other people were covering. And then as more and more people came into the space, I thought, okay, I have to dive deep. I have to ask more questions. What are my interests? And I think just as I've kind of continued on this journey, I've developed my own brand and become more of an expert in certain things. So now I focus a lot on sustainability and conscious living because that's what I'm interested in. And it's also because that's what people who follow me are asking questions about and want to know. So I think it's just embracing who you are and then kind of going with that and not apologizing as you do it.
Yeah.
So you're the host of Do Well, Do Good.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Do Well, Do Good is a digital series, and it's all about brands, products, entrepreneurs making profit with purpose. So as I started covering all of these different lifestyle stories, I noticed that the smaller brands, the ones that were really creating a product that was, well crafted, that had a lot of heart to it, that had a really good story, didn't necessarily have the marketing budget to get that story told. So as I was going through this, I thought, well, what if we create a digital series where they can come on and it serves as kind of a way in which they can communicate to the audience, and then I can ask questions that a consumer would ask. And so we started about 6 months ago. I had a great team come on board and they were like, we love what you're doing. And so Media Scheme kind of went with it, and we were very, very fortunate. We worked with Fly and Solo. They gave us a studio to film in, and we just invited all these entrepreneurs in, and we had a great time. And from there, we're getting ready to launch on Connect TV in about a week's time.
Wow,
so super
congrats.
excited.
That's so
about
exciting.
that. But it's one of those things you think, okay, I've got a vision, don't know how this is going to work, just going to run with it. So that's kind of where we are right now. And then the goal is that we are able to produce more content with this ethos. So we've just finished a pilot with Conscious Fashion Campaign with Kerry Bannigan. And so we'll get ready to launch that in a few months' time as well. And that's all about sustainable fashion. So giving them an opportunity to create content and producing that and being sort of the movers behind it.
That's so exciting.
Thank you.
And what would you say is your best piece of advice for someone who's looking to build their own personal brand?
I think My best piece of advice is to create content, and you're hearing that all the time, I know, but it really is create content, because then you can sculpt out your brand. And then it goes back to your question, Courtney, about like not having a manager. That's the great thing about social media, is that nobody has to carve you in a certain way. No one has to sculpt you. You get to share your own message, and it can be as unique as you want it to be. So I think create your own content, let it be true to your brand, whatever it is right now. It may change. And surround yourself with people who share the same vision as you, because those are the people that are actually going to help
I
make
absolutely
it.
love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and being our very last guest.
Oh my gosh!
I can't even believe it.
Thank you so much. And I have to confess, I hate being interviewed because I'm so
You're used to being
Yes.
But you guys are wonderful. You're so great, and I'm looking forward to
thank you,
what you're
thank
about
you.
to launch soon.
Yeah,
as
so
well.
we're about to reveal, but before we do, where can everyone follow you?
Lucy J, just the letter, Norris, and then for Do Well Do Good, for all of the new updates, it's DWDG NYC, and you'll be able to stay up to date with everything. And then Connect TV will be where you can actually watch the series.
You said 1 week it's going to launch?
1 week.
All right, we'll definitely be sharing that out, so message us so we can share it with everyone.
Thank you very much.
And now, you guys, in the end of our final episode, we will reveal what is coming next. We are officially launching the Entreprenista podcast on November 13th. We're going to be interviewing other successful female CEOs and sharing their stories of what it's really like to grow and scale a business. So it's really going to get into what you don't see on Instagram. On Instagram, you see all of the glamour shots of running a business and how fun and exciting and amazing it is, which it is. But there's also a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, we're very, very excited to be launching this podcast, and also have the opportunity to meet some incredible female entrepreneurs. We have met several already, and I just love the discussions that we're having, and we can't wait to share it with you on November 13th. And I think we'll be launching one a week, so definitely stay tuned. We'll have more promotions and messages about it, of course, on our Instagram and social media channels, so you'll definitely get updated.
But we'll miss seeing you every week, but you can absolutely find us all over social media and on Instagram at Steph Del Carton and at Court Spritzer and at Socialfly.
And everywhere.
And
everywhere.
We'll still
We
talk to
are
you.
on
We'll
all the
still talk
platforms.
to you, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in for the past 2.5 years. I'm going to cry. I don't want to sign off.
Well, goodbye, everyone. But it's not goodbye. This will probably, I predict, they'll probably be doing some other
Pop-in
live
episodes,
sessions.
yes.
We'll see. And we'll definitely be sharing social media updates with you in our newsletter and also on our Instagram stories. So stay tuned for that. But this is not goodbye. It's see you later on a different
See you on November
channel.
13th. And share this episode. We're going to be giving away lots of Entreprenista swag that's coming in. So you can be part of our podcast too. So share this episode or comment below if you want us to send it to you. And we will hear you and see you in a few weeks on November 13th.
All right.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Bye, guys.